Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. Jai Guru. Here is an excerpt from a discourse of Sadguru Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Ji Maharaj. He says, no matter whether you bathe in any holy waters or visit a consecrated temple, you will not rise above your body and organs. You see, the very basis rationale or the reason behind this discourse is that he's trying to remove some of our wrong notions, misconceptions, or misunderstandings about the way we practice our worship, devotion, and want to attain salvation and liberation from all kinds of bondages. Sometimes being completely distracted, distraught, and annoyed with the ways of the world, with how we find other people and our relatives behaving, we take a decision in the heat of the moment to withdraw or to retreat into the forest, etc. That is to escape from the worldly living or householder's life. Or sometimes we go on visiting number of sacred places, worship places, bathing in holy waters, visiting certain temples, doing all worships, while our objective is to end the unending cycle of woes, miseries, repeated births and deaths. Somehow we want to free ourselves of all these fetters. But because we haven't met anyone who can tell us the right way to do that, we go on practicing wrong things. So by keeping all these things in background or mind, this portion of the discourse of Maharshi Mehi Paramhans could be interpreted or understood. What he says, I'll read afresh again from the start. No matter whether you bathe in any holy waters or visit a consecrated temple, you will not rise above your body and organs. Swim vast distances over a sea if you so wish, or dive into its innermost depths. Move into remote caves or retreat into thick woods. But you cannot rid yourself of your body, organs, mind, etc. Okay, these days we can think of going to space also. Okay, so even if we go on to some other planet or even into black hole, this is not going to help us in ridding ourselves of, in overcoming all the sorrows, pains of the existence. Because wherever we go, we'll be going with our bodies. Our bodies will always be accompanying us. And so long as we are with our body, there simply cannot be any hope of salvation or liberation. So what he says, walk within your body. Walking thus, you can shed all the jad or non-conscious forms or types of body. You can be seated in pure consciousness and can see God. Though God is everywhere, he cannot be seen so long as one remains enshrouded by different covers of body, organs, mind, etc. He can be seen by walking and walking within only. Someone might contest this view, arguing, however deep you walk inside your body, you will remain within the body all the same. What if your body was consigned to flames? Well, such people are unaware of the fact that there is a huge similarity in the way both our body and the world have been designed. At a given point of time, one lives at the same plane of the universe as that of the body one is indwelling. Right now, for instance, you are in your gross bodies, and so you are living in and are aware of this gross universe also. He who wins over this gross body also conquers the gross cosmos. For example, if we can somehow say find a way within our body to rise above the body consciousness, then we'll find that we have also transcended the gross universe. Now we are no longer there on the plane of this gross existence, gross world. We are there with our astral bodies and moving into the astral world. And even if somebody destroys our say gross body, it's not going to harm us. We'll be very much there and can again take on, if needed, other gross forms. Okay, so just as by conquering or going beyond the gross body of ours, we also go across the gross universe. The same logic applies to all other planes of the universe and levels of our bodies. So that's why he says, he who wins over this gross body also conquers the gross cosmos. He who has moved beyond all the levels of his body. We have seen there are 5 types of bodies and there are 5 planes of nature also, namely gross, astral, or you can say subtle, then causal, supracausal. These 4 are non-conscious or inert spheres and bodies, and beyond them there is the 5th body and 5th realm, that is known as consciousness. And our true nature, our true self, lies even beyond that 5th. So we have to go on shedding one by one all these bodies and universes. Then only we'll realize our own true self, who we are. So he who wins over the body, all this gross body, also conquers the gross cosmos. Similarly, he who has moved beyond all the levels of his body will also have transcended all the levels of creation. Then it matters not, even though this his body is set afire. This feat can be accomplished only by traveling within. And that is the rationale of why we should be practicing inner meditation if we want to secure our own salvation. If, however, the task of rising beyond all the planes of creation and attaining complete salvation somehow remained incomplete in this birth, such a one would get yet another human birth. No other life form he'll get only human birth. He who has begun meditating has made even some efforts in this birth. His efforts would never go waste, would never go in vain. He is sure to get human birth again and again, for no other form of life is capable of sustaining the sanskaras, that is, impressions of our past actions left on our mind or consciousness, of inner meditation. The task would surely be taken to its logical conclusion in the second, third, or maybe after several more births. Such a being will ultimately be freed of all the types of bodies, would get to see God, would be rid of all the woes, and the one who gets to see God becomes God, because in our true elements we are nothing but God Himself. The soul is not different or separate from the Supreme Soul or Supreme Sovereign Lord. It's only the layers in between the two that maintain a notion of separation, of discretion, and therefore the way out lies in the way within, by which we can go on removing layers one by one. Ultimately, we have finally merged into our own true self. We see God and be God. This was from a discourse of Maharshi Mehi Paramhans, which was published in a spiritual quarterly magazine Adhyatma Prakash from Maharshi Sant Sevi Dhyana Yoga Ashram, Agarpara, Kolkata, edited by late Swami Sri Achyutanand Ji Maharaj. Hope you would have liked this part of discourse. Thank you so much. We'll meet again with a new presentation. And by the way, I wanted to say that it takes a lot of efforts in translating texts from Bharati into English, and therefore the gaps at times could be very long between two presentations in English. So, what I will request you very humbly so to have a look at the community page of this YouTube channel also. There also from time to time I go on posting some text messages. So your appetite for looking for teachings from saints would get met there also. So please don't forget occasionally to visit the community page of this YouTube channel. Thanks a lot. Jai Guru.